Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab and Nerd Chat, here with my fellow host.
I'm Jack.
And today we are going to be discussing Adventures of Elliot. The game is out. Jack has been playing it. And my game is not here yet, but it's arriving sometime today while we're recording this Nerd Chat. And if you were watching, there's a possibility that if you're watching this in the future, I've already done a stream or two about it. So, yeah. But yes, what I'm currently showing on screen is the demo, specifically the prologue demo. Yeah.
I didn't expect to meet a cat.
Like, obviously, this is quite a ways into the future of this, but this is all the way through the prologue demo, and ready to go into the actual game once it officially gets here. But yes, Jack, you've actually played a bit of the game. What do you think of it so far?
It's amazing. No complaints.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so ready to play it, and honestly, obviously, we loved the game from the moment that we played the original demo. Obviously, you played it a little bit after me for the first demo, and then the second demo, we both played it, we're both loving it, and now you have officially started the actual game. You said that you started off with the right off of where it ends in in the prologue demo, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, I guess my big question is, how is Faye?
She's alright. A little annoying at sometimes.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think that was something that we were both talking about when we played the first demo. Is like, visuals are great, all of this stuff is great. Faye's a little annoying, but like, we knew she was gonna be annoying. And I even said when I did my feedback thing, I was like, yeah, I love the game. There's a few things that I was a little bit concerned about, blah 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 blah. But the big thing is Faye is so annoying. So, yeah, hopefully they toned. I would hope that they toned her down a little bit, but I assume they didn't. Do you remember how she was in the demo versus how she is now?
Yeah, they didn't tone her down.
Okay. That makes sense. So, it makes sense. It's a little bit annoying, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of makes sense that they weren't going to do that, because she is, yeah, she's a major character, so we knew that there was going to be something with that. So we don't want to talk too much about, we're not going to talk about spoilers. We're going to avoid spoilers as much as possible, because there's obviously a lot of stuff that happens throughout this game, right? That is very spoilery. Especially like story-wise. We don't want to talk, we don't want to touch on like, whatever happened right after, Kaifri kills us at the end of the demo. So I would assume that you got, like, obviously stuff happens with Faye because, like, she's kind of mentioned in the demo and she saves you. I guess let's talk about abilities. So I think abilities are fine. What abilities does Faye have, and about how quickly do you get them?
Right now, she has fire and sprint.
Okay. Which we kind of expected because there's braziers all over the place. So we assumed that that was going to be something to do with that. And then which one did you get first? I would assume sprint.
Sprint.
Okay. And then I would assume like maybe like a few minutes or hours into the game you got the fire, or what?
Or sorry, you got fire first and then sprint.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I'm assuming that it's like a tutorial phase or something with her.
Yeah.
That you get both of those. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But
Hello
yeah,
there, kitty.
I think it makes
How
a lot of
adorable.
sense to have sprint early, but I'm kind of surprised that you didn't get teleport pretty quickly, because let's see, there's I think 2 Fey areas that are visible in the demo. Have you been able to do those yet?
Yes.
You were able to do those Fey trials? Okay. I'm assuming that those are either fire or sprint related, then. So, yeah, I don't know. Because, yeah, there's one that's on the island, and then there is one in the ice area, I believe. I think that's in the ice area in... Yeah, it's ice area. In Age of Reconstruction, there's one over by the northern Wataria. And then in the Age of Safekeeping, there's the one on the island that has like a few frogs and stuff on it. So, I guess another thing is, have you gotten any new weapons yet? Besides, which ones were there? There was the sword, the spear, the bomb, the boomerang, and the bow. That's what we have currently. That's what is in the demo currently. Have you gotten the last 2 yet?
I have the chain scythe.
Okay, nice. And do you have the hammer yet? You do have the hammer. Okay. And have you gotten any upgrades yet for any of the weapons?
No.
Okay. So I'm assuming that that's probably like a few hours into the game before you get any upgrades. What about the, have you gotten any more, potion slots? Or visited any new, eras?
I am working on visiting a new era.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask you what the name of the era is, for obvious reasons. Because obviously we have Age of Safekeeping and we have Age of Reconstruction. But you're working towards getting a new era? Okay.
Yes.
You don't have the dive ability yet, right? For swimming?
Correct.
Okay. I was assuming that was probably going to be something that was pretty late in the game. And I would assume that there's probably new areas that you've discovered since all of this. So I'm not going to get too much in depth with that, but like because especially with the fire getting unlocked, because that must unlock like a massive number of areas. Like let's see. So, and also getting the hammer must have unlocked a whole bunch of areas.
True.
Oh my gosh. I'm like thinking of all of the different areas that must have been unlocked just from getting the hammer. And because like, let's see. So the Southern Desert Caves, that was unlocked because that would have had to have been unlocked because of the hammer. There was the door next to the torn down house that must have been unlocked through using fire. I would assume that there was probably an area in that one in the secret cave. I feel like something had to have happened in the secret cave near in the Age of Reconstruction near the Northern Tower. Do you remember that? Do you know if you... Oh, you're muted again.
Sorry, I keep blowing my nose.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, there's a lot of new areas you can get to with the hammer and the fire. It's
interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Fair. Yeah, I don't. I would just like, yeah. Obviously, I kind of, you can kind of work out like what you're gonna need for certain areas pretty easily, and like once sprint comes around, or not sprint, once teleport comes around, I'm sure that a lot of areas are gonna be even more accessible. So, yeah. What about the red orb and the blue pad over by? Have you figured out how that works yet, or is that still something that we're trying to figure out?
Still trying to figure it out.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think the big thing when it comes to this game is just like, there's certain areas where you're like, okay, I understand that I'm gonna need something in order to do this, but I don't have access to it yet. And that kind of drives me crazy sometimes. But yeah, I'm wondering just how much there's gonna be as we go through the game. Because, yeah, I've heard some things about have happened with Huria. People are spoilery online, and we're trying to avoid that. I'm assuming that something has happened to Huria though pretty early. Or do you? I don't want to ask you too much. Just if something did happen, you can say yes.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, don't no spoilers, but something has happened to Huria, which isn't too surprising. Let's be honest, we kind of knew that there was gonna something was gonna happen with Huria. Like. She's clearly your love interest, or well, maybe not love interest for,
Hello there, kitty.
per se, but you know,
How adorable.
best friend, something like that, along those lines. Maybe she'll actually be a love interest. It's quite possible. Oh yeah. But yeah. I guess the big question is, if you could, how would you sum up the game at this point, besides good?
Fascinating.
Fascinating? Okay. Yeah. I would imagine that it would be, and especially, like, the details when it comes to this game, they've done a lot. They clearly deeply care about making this game as good as it possibly can be, and it's fun. It's very fun to see, especially the relationship between the characters. I found. Part of me, so like based on the trailer, there's like a lot of different characters that are going to be somewhat involved at some point in time, like cat people. There's obviously your friends that I think the two friends that you meet in the Age of Reconstruction. They feel like they're important. I don't know if you found out anything more about them yet. Or do you even know who I'm talking about?
I do.
Calatesia and who's the other one?
Shurik.
Oh, Shurik. I was thinking Diona.
Diona.
Yeah, those two are Calatesia and Diona. And then you said that there was another guy? There was a guy?
You meet Shurik.
Hurik, okay. I'm assuming that, I don't recall... Oh, was that the Hero King? I think...
Yes.
Okay. I think, yeah, people have mentioned him. I don't think I've met him yet in the demo, which isn't too surprising. But, yeah. I don't know. It's... Part of me wonders if there's gonna be more continents than the main one. I would assume probably not, because they're gonna. It's obviously the time-related stuff, and the map is. It seems like my main reasoning why I'm kind of wondering if there are going to be other continents is because it kind of feels small at this point, but at the same time, like, there's a lot to do. And especially once we get sprint, like, getting around, yeah, that's easier now. But, yeah. But yeah, I'm, like, thinking about the first demo, going all the way to the frog place, and, yeah. So have you fought any other bosses yet, beside, in the game?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think of the bosses?
Well, I'm playing on easy mode, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm a win.
That's
But
fair.
they're fun, I'd say.
Okay.
You have to have strategy.
Yeah, that was one thing that I really liked about the first demo, especially because it's like going up against that frog guy, that big frog boss. You have to make sure that you get ready to throw bombs into its mouth, and
Right.
that was so fun. And like each of the different bosses has different things that you would need to do. I know that when we were when I was facing off against Kyfried in this demo, that I was just like, oh, I really wish that there was more that I could do with him. I knew I kind of had like some idea of like what can I do to actually face off against this guy, and but you can't because it's a supposed to lose fight, which sucks. I don't know. But yeah, you're able to, like, if you know what you're doing, you can actually, like, you can survive for a long time against him in that fight, but since you do no damage to him, it's just like, ah! I don't know. I would imagine that he's probably gonna be, I don't think he's gonna be the last boss. I think that feels, based off of the trailer of the demo, it looks like we're gonna eventually have his sword. So, or not, yeah.
The light staff.
Yeah. Like, that looks like it's gonna be a sword at some point that I'm gonna be able to use. So I would assume that he's probably not gonna be the main villain. And I would assume that you're probably not to the point yet where he's defeated, because that feels like it's still gonna be like pretty late in the game, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. So about how many hours are you into the game at this point? I think if you click on load, you should be able to see what it is.
Almost 8 hours.
Okay, so you have less time in it than I do. But granted, I'm like doing grinding and stuff, so that's part of it. And also, I'm on one difficulty level higher than you, so that might also do some changes to it. But I do have to say, it is nice that we are able to change difficulty mode on the fly. So if we do decide that if we wanted to change something, then we're able to. So that is nice. Oh, partner. I didn't know that there's a partner chattiness mode. What does this do? Oh. So there's talkative and reticent is what the two modes are.
Yeah.
Have you tried that at all? Have you tried reticent mode?
Yeah.
Because one thing that I was like I was saying with Faye is like, she is so talkative in the original, in the demo. So I'm imagining. Yeah, I think I just changed it, and she is no longer, she's not chatty as much, or Curia isn't as chatty, and she usually is pretty chatty. Maybe I should go to a... Okay, yeah, seriously. She is way less chatty. So that's interesting. I do wonder if it's like... There's probably like, you want to have her, have them be to a certain level of chattiness. So I'm wondering if maybe they'll add something at a later date to basically be like, okay, here's like a mode in between these two modes. Because I know that that might be something that that some people would like to have. Yeah, I think somewhere between those two extremes would be good to have for that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do, yeah. Oh, so you've met a few different characters at this point. About how many health pips do you have?
I have 8.
8? Okay, same as me for the demo. So I'm surprised that you only have that many. Maybe you just haven't done all of the exploring as I have. That's a possibility. Because I have because each of the each of the different trials gives something. So I would imagine that you're supposed to have more, or you can have more at this point if you explore more. I don't know. Hard to say. Because obviously there's like some that you can only find in like certain dungeons and stuff like that. Oh, that's a question. The rainbow thing. How has that? Have you figured out how that works yet?
The Rainbow Lotus?
Rainbow, well, the Rainbow Gate that basically blocks off certain areas.
No, I haven't seen that.
There is one over by the Northern Witaria spot that is that blocks off a Fae trial.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's like something that you just didn't really notice, or if that maybe that's just something that's in the demo but not in the full game. That is also possible. Of course.
Getting in seems complicated. What do you propose we do?
Yeah. So I don't know. I know that there is also one in the Dragon Pillar dungeon. Or whatever that is, that cave. That I kind of assume that that's basically there to block people off from going in before they have phase teleport ability, is what I was assuming. But you know what happens when we assume.
True. When you assume, you make an ass out of you in front of me.
Pretty much. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I guess another thing that I'm kind of curious about is there any weapon that you kind of wish was in the game that isn't?
Honestly, no.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I think like each weapon kind of has its specific uses, and like if we look at the these different weapons, so like obviously the sword has like all of it is probably the least specialized, followed by the spear. The spear is obviously good for long range, for a little bit of long range. The bow has like all of its uses, especially like with being long range while also being able to activate certain things. Same thing goes for the boomerang with that feels very specialized. Obviously the bombs have the ability to like break rocks and do other things like that. Same thing goes for the hammer being able to break through those or open up those passageways. And the sickle chain sickle, that's fun. That's a very fun weapon. I can't wait to get that. Also, I guess another thing to question is, how's your Magicite looking?
Amazing.
Do you have anything that's like 4 stars or up yet, or?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Let's see. Yep.
I'm assuming that it's like something pretty simple, but it could be.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably like, is it like an attack up or something? But yeah, I don't know. It's I like that there's so many Magicite, and part of me wonders if like once you have like your Magicite box fully upgraded, if we'll and your Magicite to be perfect, if we'll be able to have like every single Magicite on our weapons. Like obviously I would imagine that you can't tell quite yet, because it takes a long time to build up your Magicite, or your Magicite box, as well as to build up the just Magicite in general. Since it is very luck based, especially near the beginning.
True.
New Magicite. What powers lurk within, I wonder?
But yeah. Also, that's another question I have for you. Have you unlocked the ability to make specific Magicite? Or if it's still all form random Magicite? Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that was going to be the case for a while, because, like, obviously, I'm at form rank 4, which basically means that it's practically guaranteed that I'm going to get a 2-star thing, and a little likely to get 3-star stuff. But it's interesting to think about, like, how that's going to affect having very specific Magicite. And especially, like, yeah. Oh, that's another question. Have you gotten any more accessories besides the 5 that were in the demo?
Yes.
Okay, so what was it?
Oh god, what did I get? I got like a bracelet, I think.
Okay. Does it
I forget what it does. Hang on.
Okay. Because in the demo there is the defalling charm, the experiment charm, which I love the name. I love that freaking name. The Flutterer's Cape, the Lotus Chain,
I have
and the
the
Scallop
Lotus
Charm.
Chain, the Fairy Bangle, the Cherry Blossom Anklet, and the Roselle Ring.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. All of those are new, except for the Lotus Chain, you said, right? Do you have the Scallop Charm?
No.
And you didn't have the Flutterer's Cape, the Experiment Charm, or the Defalling Charm?
Nope.
Okay. Well, those 3 are ones that you have to purchase, and they can be expensive. I got the Flutterer's Cape back in the original demo because it's such a fun thing. Being able to just be like, oh, let me just flutter away really quick. and it kind of makes a lot. It makes some of the. It allows you to do certain things that you had to use Faye for in that demo. So that like it's. I think that you're still able to do them, but yeah. I would assume that you probably have like more key items at this point. I don't want to ask too much about those because obviously those are very much related to the story of the game.
What might be
Are you able to get wear more than one accessory yet?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured that that was going to be a ways. I kind of figured that the potions were going to be well, potions are probably going to be over the entire game. And then the weapons, obviously. So, you know, that's another thing that I've kind of been curious about is if there was ever going to be like something when it came to the shield, if the shield was ever going to get magicite, but I kind of doubt that it will. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that it would, but I don't think it will because there's only 8 slots for magicite, and that is each of those magicite is related to one of the weapons or the random one. So yeah, but yeah, I'm very curious to see like what the upgraded weapons are gonna be like. Like we know, thanks to the trailer, we do know some of them. Like eventually the boomerang is gonna have like this cool spiky thing that looks really cool. The hammer is gonna be metal at some point. Obviously there was a better sword in the demo, in the first demo. I'm curious what the shield is eventually gonna look like. I imagine that by the end of the game, all of your weapons are gonna be like really cool and like overpowered and stuff like that. Oh, I guess since we did mention potions, have there been any new types of potions? Besides, let me read off what we have currently. So currently we have recovery, advanced recovery, fighter's draft, and defender's draft. Have there been any more than that, or do you even know?
There have not been more than that.
Okay. I kind of figured that it probably wasn't going to go much more than that. But, like, maybe if they're going to do anything, I could maybe imagine, like, something above advanced recovery medicine. Something that's, like, I don't know. Because advanced gives you 6 health points back. So, maybe at some point there's going to be something that will give you, like, full recovery. And will restore all of your health points. But that's probably like pretty late in the game, is my guess. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess my another thing that I'm curious about is how many health points we think that we're eventually going to be able to have. Because like obviously right now I have 8. You said that you have 8. I think that probably very quickly I'm gonna get my 9th one once I get out of the demo. Because I have 3 shards at this point. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see how they're gonna handle things. Oh, that's another question. Who is your favorite beast tribe that you've fought so far?
The Frauki.
Fair. Frauki are so freaking funny. And their singing abilities, that's awesome.
It's
I
hilarious.
I want to see more from the elephants. I don't remember what their name is. Let me go back to the Age of Safekeeping and see if I can find out what they're I don't remember what they're called. But yeah, the elephants. I fought some of them in one of the trials. So I'm curious what they're gonna be like. And also, I'm curious if we're going to befriend any of the beast tribes in some way, shape, or form. Like, I imagine probably they're not gonna do too much in that term, in those terms of things. But beast tribe thing, yeah. Elephant, that's what they're called.
There's a peloton.
So, let's see. So there's the Brid, the Ulfer, the Frauki, the Ratho, and the Elephant. The Elpond, sorry, not Elephant. And I like how each one feels unique, especially in their combat styles. Like obviously the Brid are very floaty and kind of constantly moving about, especially with their bows and their spears. The Ulfer are very varied in their weapons, and being able to call the others is insanity. Frauki having their song abilities. I don't know how much more they have beyond that, because obviously I've only met a few of them. The Ratho being able to dig is just annoying, and the Elpond being just like these big bulky guys that are just constantly annoying. Oh no, they're fun. They're fun monsters for sure. Well, I don't want to call them monsters. They're beastmen, because I have a feeling that at some point we're gonna like maybe try to make peace with them. That would be really interesting to see. I assume that that's not even on your mind yet in the game, right?
I'm sorry, say what?
Is
I didn't
making
expect you to
peace
catch
with the beastmen even on your mind yet?
No.
Okay. Like, I don't know. The fact that they call them specifically beastmen, that makes me think that they've got to have like some something at some point where they're going to be just like these where they are going to be peaceful and we're going to make peace with them. Probably like in a future timeline or something like that. I don't know. Well, all of the let's see. So all of our time travel stuff, I think it's all going to be in the past, right? I think that's kind of like they've kind of implied that all of them are going to be like the Age of Safekeeping is basically the current time. Like that's the present. The Age of Reconstruction is a little bit in the past. At some point, we're going to get something to do with magic. And then I don't remember what the last one is going to... I forget what the other one was. Maybe I should go back to the history and see if I can find something with that. Oh, I can't wait to have Sprint available. That's going to be so much fun. And I remember in the demo where she was just like, that looked like it hurt, and all of those different things whenever you ran into a wall. Oh my gosh. At least that didn't actually do damage to you. Could you imagine if when you ran into something with Sprint, if it actually did damage?
It does.
It does? What?
It does.
Like into just like a wall. That does damage to you?
A little bit, yeah.
That's insane. I thought that it wouldn't do that. Wow. Okay. So yeah, so let's see. So there was the Age of Budding, the Age of Magic, and the Age of Reconstruction. And then the current one is the Age of Safekeeping.
Correct.
So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, if it's even on easy mode, it gives you damage. That's
Yeah, a little tiny bit.
okay. That's interesting. I'm kind of wondering if like there's gonna be an ability at some point that basically negates that. But it does make sense because they don't want you just like constantly running into objects and being like, "Oh, I'm fine. I don't need to worry about this anymore." But yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that works. And then also like, so I'm assuming that you still haven't gained access to the King's Chambers, right? In the game. Do you remember that?
What about the King's Chambers?
Do you remember? Do you have you gained permission to go into the King's Chambers?
No.
Okay. I kind of figured that it was probably not going to be for a while. It's just, yeah, I was curious if maybe you knew about something. So, how are you enjoying the side quests, though?
Very much.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine like what different side quests they're eventually gonna have with that.
There's one about cats.
Oh, so we actually find out why there's so many freaking cats everywhere?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. Because I kind of figure that the cats are probably like able to give you some bonus at some point. Because yeah, like how there's the cat that's outside the outside the kingdom of Huther. There's the one that's over by yeah, there's two basically on either side of there, and there's just another one over here and another one over there and this and that, and they're all over the frickin' place. And I'm kind of like, okay, what's going on with the cats? And another thing that's kind of on my mind. So we know that at some point we're going to meet cat people, based off of the trailer. Have you met any cat people yet?
Yes.
You have. Okay.
Just one.
Just one.
And he is very strange.
He is very strange. Got it. Yeah, I was kind of wondering if like maybe there's like something to do with the past where maybe the all the cats are actually like these cat people. That could be interesting. I doubt they're gonna go in that direction. Well, they could go in that direction. That could be interesting. And like maybe like in the once you have done certain things in the past, maybe you'll be able to like talk to all of the cats that you've met throughout your time, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know about you, Elliot," or something weird like that. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, there's supposedly a lot to do with the cat people, so I'm very excited to see how that's gonna work, and also like what different abilities we're gonna get as we go through the game. I imagine that there's probably certain things as we play through the game that we'll know about for like a long time. Something is really weird, and then after we've done certain things with that, we'll be able to do some cool stuff. I don't know. Like I'm assuming that you still don't know anything about the holes throughout the town, throughout the world. Or do you?
Nope. No idea.
Yeah. That's really intriguing to me. It's like, what the heck are those things? Part of me was thinking maybe it's like something where Faye, where you'll be able to play as Faye for a bit. That could be interesting.
You can control Faye.
Well, I know you can control Faye, but like actually playing fully as Faye at some point would be really interesting. Kind of like how there's certain moments in frickin' Ratchet and Clank where you will play as Clank and basically do like different puzzles and stuff in smaller areas that Ratchet can't access. So maybe something like that could be what those holes are, and maybe like Faye has to fight something in there. I don't know. Like, I'm just spitballing right now to kind of like try to predict like some of the things that they could do with those. But yeah, I know that you can control Faye using the right analog stick, And then you can also have her be in different position. You can basically have her do a few different things. Like, what is it? It's go ahead, follow me, and what was the other one? I know there's 3 different things that she can do. 3 different methods of movement that she can have.
Oh, there's the cat boy.
Do you remember that? Do you know what? Do you remember what the last one was?
No, I don't.
Okay. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe it is just go ahead and then follow, and then obviously you can control her, which, yeah, control. Like, that's gonna be really interesting because she does do damage to enemies, and that's gonna be and learning how to use that in effectiveness is gonna be really important, because you don't want to if you're yeah, certain enemies you're gonna want to stay away from them until because they can do like a lot of damage to you. And I remember, like, in the demo I tried out, the first demo I tried out the harder mode, and using her effectively was so freaking important, because it basically prevented you from taking a lot of damage, because in the harder modes, the enemies, just touching the enemies does damage to you. And so making sure that you understand your distance was really freaking important. Because, yeah, if you don't, if you get too close to them, then they'll do damage to you, and yeah. Meanwhile, in, like, the easier modes, like easy and normal, I know for a fact that they don't do damage if you're touching them. They have to actually do an attack in order for them to do damage to you. So, at least most of the enemies. I'm assuming that there's probably some enemies at some point that will do damage to you no matter where you are. Whether you're actually doing damage to them or if you're close to them or whatever. So, yeah. But so far, what's your favorite weapon in the game?
The scythe, the chain scythe.
Chain sickle? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I remember using that so much in the original game. Just like swing it around your head, and then whenever you're close enough to an enemy, shoot it out, and just, yeah, it was fun. And also the fact that it can, like, with certain Magicite, you can have it basically fire off fireballs. That was so fun. I don't know if you have that Magicite yet. But also I think it's really funny that you can actually get a chain sickle Magicite in the demo, despite not being able to get the chain sickle.
True.
Like, why is this a thing? Why do I have... yeah, they call it the chain sickle. Okay, I want to make sure that was actually what it was. So, yeah, so let's see. So there's the sword, spear, chain and sickle, bow, boomerang, bomb, and then we know that there's going to be... we know there's a hammer in the game. But yeah, oh, I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see, like, what the different weapons are gonna look like, what the different shields are gonna look like. I am also so let's see here. If I look at my items, so let's see. So so obviously every weapon currently has a 1-star, except for bombs, which don't have any stars. So, based off of that, and based off the fact that the Magicite has 5 stars, I'm thinking that there's probably at least 5 levels for every single weapon. And I think that's gonna be really exciting and interesting to see how it's gonna work. And, like, is it just gonna be a boost in attack, or is there going to be other abilities that these different weapons are going to have? I think the one sword that we got in the original demo, the one sword upgrade that we got, it had something special that it had. So I'm wondering if that's gonna like each of those is gonna have that extra upgrade as well, or if it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's just better. Like obvious. So also I think looking at the bombs specifically is really interesting because like bombs have an attack of 50, which is the strongest weapon that we currently have. So I'm wondering if maybe all of the different weapons are eventually going to get to that level of strength, because like the longsword is currently 8, the spear is 10, bow is 12, spin back is 6. So getting them up to maximum is probably going to... I would assume that they're probably going to be somewhere around 50 for their attack. But we'll have to wait and see.
Know him.
And I'm assuming that the stamina is going to be insane on the shield eventually. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But, and also, I think one other thing I suggested to them is, like, the ability to change the look of your weapon once you got new weapons. And I don't think that they're going to do that, but I think that could be really fun to see. Also, have you gotten other outfits for Elliot, or is it just the one so far? Jack? Oh, you're muted.
Gotten what?
Have you gotten any other outfits for Elliot besides his standard outfit?
Oh, no.
Okay. I wasn't necessarily thinking that they would do that, because there's not really any hint at that being a possibility. If it was going to be something, it would probably be something in the key items, and then you could click on it, and it would allow you to change your outfit. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think that's probably a good place for us to stop for now. We've talked about Elliot. We're excited to be able to play it once it finally gets here. Please get here soon, game. But yeah, I think that's probably a good place for us to call it for today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's Nerd Chat, and I hope that you guys are going to be really excited for the next one, because we're not talking about Elliot next time. We're going to talk about the Amazing Digital Circus and how amazing it was. So if you haven't watched it yet, make sure that you watch it before the next Nerd Chat, because that's going to be very, very fun. What do you think? Before we go, do you have anything that you want to say about the Amazing Digital Circus before next time?
Watch episode 9. Seriously, life-changing.
Right then. It is so great. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja. He's been Jack. We've both been distracted by the actual game. So yeah. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. But on